shot fits. The Independence 500 is 6 nights away, and we got to set the field. First qualifying race of the night, getting ready to kick off here. The top 10 advance. Who's going to be there at the very end? They've got 30 laps to sort it out. These are the 1987 NASCAR Coupes. And it's going to be a great time here at Old Daytona. Putting on the patriotic race here. The SIM500 qualifying races for the Independence 500. Brought to you live right here on Turn 1. As I mentioned, these drivers are going to battle it out here. They're getting ready to take a green flag. Jose Gonzalez sitting on the front row. It's going to be anybody's race. The top 10 advance. The green flag is out. We're underway. $18 drivers looking to make their way up front. Free and rolling here as we kick off tonight's event. Gonzalez sits out front. Brian Wortman right on the bumper with a big gap out front for these two, but it's not going to last too long. They're going to get up to speed as they drive by here. First lap's under speed. Jose Gonzalez is going to lead. Is he going to be able to hold that spot to the end of the race? We're going to find out. Brian Wortman, Nelson Rivera, Ron Holyfield, Mike Montesi, Trey Edison, all running up here again. Everybody looking to advance. Not sure what's going on with our timing and scoring, but that's okay. We're going to work that out. What you're seeing on your screen is not accurate, but that's okay. Jose Gonzalez out front. There we go. Now everybody's going to cycle through. It's just a byproduct of qualifying not happening. They qualified on speed earlier or late last week. The rest of the drivers get to take on the qualifying races. 30 laps here at Old Daytona to find out who's going to transition or transfer to the race next Sunday. It's going to be a great one. You're going to find it right here on Turn 1. I can't wait for that. But first, we got to get through the qualifiers. And here comes Nelson Rivera on the bottom. The driver of the 22 making his way forward for the first time tonight. Zach Roethlisberger is right behind him. And then Brian Wortman is going to fall to fourth. Single filed out. They should be able to make this here. They're not going to need to make a pit stop. This is all-out sprint race. You do not want to get in any trouble here. We saw a couple drivers actually start back on pit road. And they're going to actually catch this field here in just a little bit. I believe that's Alan Wild. It is, as well as Lane Phillips. They've all elected to start pretty far back, and some of as far as pit road. And that'll have to pay off, but you need a caution to get caught up. And right now, Jose Gonzalez is trying to hold off some advances. Here comes Roethlisberger on the inside. All you need to be is in the top 10 to make it through. And right now, that's top 10 spots held by Kevin Stone, the driver of the 17. He's got Connor Hazel behind him, Rod Holyfield, Randall Watkins, Mark Rodingen, Kevin England, our booth partner on Cup Nights here on Monday right now is running 15th. Brian Rayburn, Lane Phillips, as well as Alan Wild, who, like I mentioned, is about to go a lap down here. As we go up front, it's going to be a lead change for the qualifying race number 1 of the Independence 500. Side draft as they come down the front stretch here at Daytona. Jose Gonzalez is going to try to hold him off, but here comes Roethlisberger on the inside. back behind him is Rivera running that little bit higher line. Everybody leveraging the draft here, trying to keep up, keep pace. You do not want to fall behind. From what I can tell, it is very easy to lose steam, lose positions here. And right now, Gonzalez is dominating that front row, or dominating that front spot. Take a look back here around 10th place. Kevin Stone is starting to feel the pressure. They're 2x2 behind him. That's Connor Hazel, Ron Holyfield, side by side. These drivers, this is not just a simple qualifying race. They paid an entry fee to get into the opportunity to qualify here tonight. These drivers did not make it on speed as those two nearly make contact coming out of turn 2. Now 2x2. It's going to start to get racy back here as the laps tick down. But these drivers are battling for a spot. They did not make it on speed, so therefore they've got to race their way in for a chance to win it all next Sunday night. Little bit of potential contact there. Roethlisberger's going to slide back on the outside. That's Richard Swaverly right there with him as well. Brian Wertman is also sliding back just a little bit. That driver started up front in P2, and unfortunately he slid all the way back to 8th. Single filed out here as they come through 3. Thus far, everybody's minding their P's and Q's. A side-by-side battle. This is for 4th. That's Mike Tessie, Richard Swaverly side-by-side. Swaverly on the bottom, trying to get underneath. We've seen these cars not really be able to build much of a run. And some of these drivers really trying to having to pick a moment here. Oh, we got a car sideways. That was Roethlisberger. He's sideways, not going to make wall contact. And they're going to stay green. Roethlisberger now in trouble. He may not make the cut. He's going to need a caution. And it looks like he's going to tow to the pits. I didn't think he had that much damage, but really, to that point, it's going to be really tough to get caught back up in this field without a caution. That's going to bring Ron Holyfield. He's going to be in the 10th place spot. The Cap Burn seat right there. Mark Rodichin right behind him. Brian Wertman now sitting at 12th. He's fallen way back. Brian, you're going to have to pick up the pace, buddy. We got to get in there. Kevin England certainly sitting 13th at the moment. And they're battling hard. Oh, they're making some contact. That's going to slow somebody up. Who went backwards there? That was Connor Hazel I saw. He's now falling back to 15th. It's starting to get racy back here for this run for that 10th place spot. All of a sudden, Kevin England in now 32 car has found himself up there. He's going to slow up a little bit. It looks like several drivers are going to get by. Kevin says, no, sir, it's too early to be doing all this. Meanwhile, back up front, Jose Gonzalez, Nelson Rivera, Trey Edison, Mike Montesi, and Richard Swaverly, your top. Swaverly is your top 5. Oh, the caution's out. We're looking for it. Oh, no! Several drivers collected. That's Ron Holyfield, sorry, Ron. Randall Watkins also involved, and unfortunately the 32 of Kevin England. Those drivers will most likely not make the field here tonight. And that's going to bring out the caution for the first time. Here with 20 to go in the first qualifying race for the Independence 500. Let's find out what may have happened back here. Oh, it looks like Kevin England may have made contact there. Who was that with? That was the 76. And that is going to bring the first caution out tonight. And also potentially end the competitive night of a couple of those drivers here tonight at Daytona. Under caution for the first time. You're gonna go back green flag racing with about 18 laps to go. Let's quickly take a look or quickly call out to the drivers who are not in these races because they are locked in. These 10 drivers are going to walk themselves in the next Sunday night feeling pretty good. They're in the top 10 spots. That's going to be, let's take a look here. Getting ready to pull that up right now. I thought I had it fired and ready to go. I did not, but that's okay. There we go. So, your top 10 locked in as we got drivers coming down pit road. That may shake some stuff up. It's going to be David Brown, Aaron Smith, Tyler Dalton with a 44.365. An impressive lap time there. Justin Fuller, Daniel Fulkenham, Bobby Wetzel, David Shieldhouse, Wesley Donaldson, Chad Coleman, and Josh Workhart. Your top 10 locked in to the Independence 500. Presented by SIM500 right here on Turn 1 next Sunday evening as everybody's going to be down pit road. Take 4 tires and fuel. We'll see what this does for some of those cars that were maybe damaged as we see Jose Gonzalez has got the left side up on that car. And they are rolling off. Gonzalez is going to maintain the lead. Troy Edison's going to come out P2. Nelson Rivera, Mike Montesi, Glenn Campbell, your top 5. This caution came out here with 20 to go with an incident in turn 3, and this is going to shake some things up. They're going to have new tires. And hopefully going to be able to get something done here. They're going to go back green flag racing with about 16 to go. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off. They'll go back green flag racing with 16 to go for the race 1 of the Independence 500 qualifiers right here on Turn 1. This is Old Daytona 2008 edition. Bumpy, rough, not a lot of grip. And these drivers are wheeling the 1987 NASCAR coupes. Doesn't get much more American and patriotic than this. That's some old Daytona and some even older race cars here on iRacing. Again, I'm Sean Fitz. Thank you so much for tuning in. They're getting ready to go back green flag racing. That's Jose Gonzalez on the outside. Trey Edison, Mike Montesi, Nelson Rivera, Glenn Campbell, your top 5. Right as they come across the stripe, they'll be about a lap away from halfway here, deciding who is going to go to the Sunday night main event, and who's going to go home? The green flag back out here. Gonzalez with a clean start. Edison's getting a strong push on the inside. Oh, we're going to be driver down on the bottom. That's Rivera. He's going to be able to hang on to it. Gonzalez and Montesi with a huge run. Oh, big caution. Massive wreck. Several cars involved. This will shape the end of the race. Anthony Calatoni, Brian Wortman, Glenn Campbell involved. I think Alan Wild was able to miss it. Another incident here with 16 to go. Let's find out what happened. Looks like Connor Hazel and Anthony Calatoni may have made contact. Let's find out. Oh, yeah. You can't really do much about it. They made contact, couldn't get off each other. That collected 2 other cars. And unfortunately going to end, most likely end the competitive night of those drivers. So, now, if you're one of those damaged cars, we saw Kevin England. He is actually in the pit right now, several laps down. Randall Watkins, Zach Roethlisberger have all called it a night, it looks like. But now, it becomes a race of attrition in that top 10 spot. So Anthony Crownover right now sitting in that 10th spot. Connor Hazel's still on track. He got that car back rolling. So did Brian Wortman and Glenn Campbell. I'm sorry. I believe I've been calling Anthony Crownover Anthony Calatoni. I apologize about that, Mr. Crownover. That's okay. I just saw the C and just went with it. Glanced over, but either way, Crownover right now sitting 11th. And I'm sure he's going to come down pit road. If you're one of these damaged cars, you've got to take advantage of this. You've got to stay out there and keep running. Again, the top 10 drivers transfer. Jose Gonzalez picks up the pace car, and it looks like, who was that? Was that Alan Wild? It was. This may pay off. This may be the gamble of the night. Alan Wild, I believe, started back in the pits. And that driver just got his lap back. He's going to be on the lead lap and going to be a factor here as we've got several drivers down pit road. Looks like Brian Wortman's going to try to limp that machine back around. It's missing the whole nose. But that 74 car has a chance. Right now sitting 9th. It's all going to be about who's got the most damage and who could get what fixed down there under this caution. Make sure you stay tuned right after this race. We're going to head over to race number 2, where another 10 drivers are going to try to transfer into that into that final event. Some round out 30 drivers, and then there'll be an LCQ where everybody will have one more chance to make their way forward. Again, we're going to transfer a total of 30 drivers here tonight to make a 40-car field. It's all starting here with race 1. Under caution for the second time. We're going to step aside one more time. Jose Gonzalez leads. You're watching Turn 1. Jose Gonzalez has been leading from the front since the green flag dropped here tonight at Daytona. Still sitting up there now. Mike Montesi's going to join him. Nelson Rivera, Trey Edison, Richard Swavely, Kevin Stone, Lane Phillips, Brian Rayburn, Connor Hazel, Glenn Campbell all locked in. If it ends right now, but it's not going to. We're going to go back green flag racing with about 12 laps remaining. Again, the top 10 transfer. Green flag back out here at Daytona. Oh, Gonzalez looked like he maybe missed a shift there. He really checked up a little bit. Rivera's going to pull right to the bumper. He's going to bring Montesi with him. On the outside is Swavely. He's the only driver up high. That top two are going to try to move up and pick him up. That's going to leave Montesi without a draft. Let's go back here to Alan Wild, that driver who got his lap back, started into pits. He's sitting on the bubble right now. Anthony Crowdover is one spot away. Kevin Stone and Glenn Campbell all looking here, running 11th, 12th, and 13th, just outside. Remember, you've got to be in the top 10 as Wild starting to advance his run forward. And he's going to bring Crowdover with him. Tell you what, that battle for 10th is going to be tight, but let's go back up front. Jose Gonzalez continues to lead. Montesi, Edison, Rivera, Swavely, your top 5. Up front, Gonzalez goes to the high line. But here comes Montesi to the inside. He's going to lead a lap here. 10 remaining. Montesi moves up, nearly makes contact with Gonzalez as they roll through turn 1. Gonzalez is going to retake the lead here on that outside run. It looks like these cars really get a strong drive off the corner. All working out for this 5-pack up front. Meanwhile, go back here to the bubble. That bump spot, Alan Wild. He's fallen back to 10th. He's got Connor Hazel right there knocking on the door. Crowdover's advanced himself all the way up to 8th. Kevin Stone in 11th. This is a big group of 4 right here trying to decide who's going to make the end of this thing and who's not. Glenn Campbell and the 76 also still in this race, but rather slow. It's all going to come down to Hazel, Stone, Wild, Crowdover. Looking back up front, closing in on 8 laps remaining. Jose Gonzalez leads. Let's ride on board with Trey Edison for a lap around Old Daytona in these coupe cars. Big battle back here around 10th. Hazel's looking on the bumper here of Alan Wild. Kevin Stone right there as well. He's working that track, trying to make up a spot. He's running out of laps to do so. They're going to come across the stripe here. Rolling through the tri-oval. What's going to be 6 laps remaining in race number 1 of the Independence 500 qualifiers right here on turn 1. We're going to take the top 10, and then we're going to move on to race number 2. Right now, Gonzalez looking sharp out there in that 26 car. Has led all but basically 1 lap here tonight so far. Not many cars able to challenge him too hard. And ultimately, if you're in this top 10, you're in a top 10 situation, you're locked in. So you need to stay here, and you're gonna come to the stripe with just 5 laps to go. Taking a look back, oh no, something has happened to Kevin Stone. The driver of the 17 has fallen way off the draft. This may be the end of his night. Connor Hazel, Alan Wild have driven forward. They're in the draft. Kevin Stone may be in trouble or may be at risk of not making the race in race 1. We go up front though, and here comes Trey Edison in the 98. And looking underneath, Gonzalez is going to take the lead as they roll through 3 and 4. Gonzalez is going to be back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race through the tri-oval. Gonzalez is going to have the run. 4 laps to go. Still side by side up front. You do not want to wreck these cars. You've got to take it easy here. And if you're Jose Gonzalez, you've demonstrated you've got some pace. You're going to start in a pretty decent spot on Sunday night. Do you want to risk it to win it? If you wreck it now, you're not going to have a whole lot of time to get caught back up if you can. Edison's going to settle into the lead just as I see that. Gonzalez is going to slide underneath him. 3 to go. What a move by Gonzalez, and I would keep an eye on that. He's done that 2 laps in a row. That drive off of 4 really benefiting Gonzalez. Anybody out front may need to take note there. We go back to the rear of the field. Connor Hazel is still in that 10th place spot, but Kevin Stone is starting to gain ground. May not quite be over for the 17 just yet. Back up front, Gonzalez, Edison, Montesi, and Lane Phillips in the 12 car. All up here in the top 5. 2 to go here at Daytona in race 1. Looks like Kevin Stone was able to catch up. All of a sudden, Alan Wild's in some trouble. Alan Wild sitting in that 11th place spot. The final, the driver going to be bumped out is going to come out of this group. Here comes Wild on the inside. Hazel now in trouble. Go back up front. Jose Gonzalez. Going to have a ton of pushing help here. Trey Edison right to the bumper. The white flag is out. One more time around here in race 1. We see a car sideways down the front stretch. That's Lane Phillips. He's going to be way off the pace. Is that second group of drivers going to be able to catch him? It doesn't look like it. Alan Wild's bumped back up to 10th. Now Connor Hazel's on the outside looking in. Wild moves down to try to block the advance. We go back up front. Jose Gonzalez is going to block a move. Oh, big sideways moment for Montesi's going to steal it. And it looks like we're going to go back here to 10th. Alan Wild's going to miss it by a nose. Connor Hazel is going to round out the top 10. And that is going to ensure these top 10 drivers, Mike Matesi, Jose Gonzalez, Nelson Rivera, Trey Edison, Richard Swavely, Brian Rayburn, Lane Phillips, Anthony Crowdover, Kevin Stone, and Connor Hazel are going to drive off into Sunday night's event. Meanwhile, we're going to quickly step aside real quick. We'll do a quick interview with Mike Matesi, who was able to bring home the checkered flag here tonight in race number 1, and then we'll move on to race number 2. You're watching Turn 1. Race 1 in the books here, and Mike Matesi was able to take it there on the final lap. Mike, congratulations on that victory. That's got to feel good, locking yourself in to Sunday night's event.
Race.
It certainly seemed like it, Mike. These cars look like they're really loose out there, required a lot of sawing at the wheel. From your experience, what does it take to be up front there when it matters most when that checker flag waves?
Well, I think it just proved you don't want to be in the top 1 or 2 and racing side by side, because they both got loose, and I drove right up the middle and was very fortunate not to get wrecked and take the win.
Mike, obviously, again, like I mentioned, it's got to feel good to have yourself qualified in now. Did you learn something tonight that you could take to apply to next Sunday evening at all?
I did.
That's all he's got to say right there. But fewer words spoken, the better. Mike Matesi, your winner here tonight, race number 1 for the qualifiers. Mike, we appreciate the time.
Thanks, Sean.
And with that, we're going to step aside for just a moment. Get ready for race number 2. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Turn 1. Race number 1 in the books. Mike Montesi is going to call the, well, he's going to have the checkered flag and move on to Sunday night's event. And just like that, we're going to move over to race number 2. Doug Sigmund, Brian Scott, Robert Ferrari, John Bretzman, John Mustaine, Stoney Benfield, Rick Kennedy, Logan Koger, Tommy Ryan, Randy Yoakum make up the top 10 of this group. Josh Parker, Peter Cementina, Joe Hudson, Joey Juttina, Dewey Woods, Kevin DeBrown, Eric Arnold, and Mark Jorgensen Jr. all making up this field as they get ready to go green flag racing again here at Daytona. This is race number 2 of tonight's qualifying efforts here on turn 1. After this, make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna go back to we're gonna go to the LCQ right here about 5 minutes after this race ends. We saw an exciting first race. I'm sure this one's gonna be no different. Josh Parker on the front row. And they're gonna see the green flag. And we're underway here at Daytona. Parker goes to the apron. He's gonna let everybody kind of drive around him here. Meanwhile, up front. Top 4 getting single filed out very quickly. Here comes Joe Hudson on the advance on the outside. He's gonna have Eric Arnold with him as drafting help. Side by side, two. I was thinking about making it 2 wide there, but no. They're gonna keeping it 2 wide. Thinking about making it 3, as they're gonna come across a stripe up here. That's speed. These 87 coupes really get around here at Daytona, and this pack looking mighty racy here in race number 2. Our scoring monitor will update as we roll out a turn, or as we roll across the start-finish line again. Don't worry about that as we look back here right now. A bunch of drivers going to be sawing at the wheel to take that 10th spot and make sure they're in for the Sunday night event. We should see scoring update right there. It goes. And Peter Smetana up front in the 25. Eric Arnold's with him. Joe Hudson, Mark Jorgensen, Brent Scott side by side with Joey Gattina. This is super speedway racing at Daytona. Two by two, essentially the whole field here. Remember, we are taking only 10 cars out of this race, guaranteeing them a spot into Sunday night's Independence 500. Brought to you by SIM500. Now is the time. It's time to go and be do you want to be up front, or do you want to pull a Josh Parker? Slide back to the rear of the field. He's sitting 12th right now on the inside. Just like any other super speedway race, you got to make some decisions. Where do you want to be? And Eric Arnold's made his. He's up front right now at the point. Mark Jorgensen sitting P2. They're starting to get a little racy back there. I believe that's for 3rd. Oh, the 3 cars going to go around. That's Gattina. Jattina's going to go around. He's going to take 5 other cars with him. That should bring the caution out. Doug Sidming involved. Josh Parker's in this. No caution yet. Everybody stayed out of the racing line. So the green flag is going to stay out. That's going to slow up some of those drivers here as they try to get back rolling up front. Or on the front stretch, rather. Eric Arnold is in a comfortable spot. He's got Jorgensen just off the bumper as the smoke is still clearing off the front stretch from that big incident. I believe 6 cars involved total. And that's going to affect some things from these drivers. That's going to shake up pretty much that whole run for the 10th place spot. We look back here, that's Rick Kennedy. John Mustaine is right in his tire tracks, but Doy Woods, Logan Koger, Robin Afrietti, Josh Parker, Joey Jettina, Doug Sigmund, Brent Scott, they're all right now way behind. They need to get on if they're going to get a chance to, or if they're going to have a chance to advance out of race number 2. While we've got the cautions out. Brent Scott may have had an incident. He's down pit road. So is Jettina. Jettina's now missing the whole front end there. Let's take a quick look as we're under caution for the first time in heat race number 2. Oh, it looks like Scott just got loose all on his own there. Sideways on the front stretch. Was able to just get clear in enough time for the leaders to come by. And that's going to bring the caution out for the first time here tonight. In race number 2, I believe we're going to have 24 laps to go. We do. Right now, Eric Arnold, Mark Jorgensen, Peter Smatina, Kevin DeBrown, Joe Hudson, your top 5. We're going to step aside. You're watching race number 2 of the Independence 500 qualifiers right here on turn 1. Peter Smetana, Kevin DeBrown, Randy Yoakum, Tommy Ryan, Mark Jorgensen Jr. up front as they get ready to go back. Green flag racing, race number 2 of the Independence 500 qualifiers right here on turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. I'm glad you're here. See a bunch of you over on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you haven't already done so, make sure you get connected. Like us and follow us over on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. And make sure you hit the follow button over on Twitch. You're going to want to be here. We're racing for the top 10 to move on to Sunday night's Independence 500, brought to you by SIM500 right here on turn 1. You're not going to want to miss it, so get notified when we go live with that race by getting connected today. The front row, get ready to get this field back rolling. And the green flag back out. Here they go. The 87 cars at Daytona is back green. The 25 and the 93 hold court on that front row. Back behind him, though, it's a little bit of chaos. Ryan's going to move up to that second spot. He's going to follow off the back bumper of the 93 into Brown. Jorgensen's right there in striking distance. Let's go back here to that 10th place spot. We've pretty much got 6 cars battling it out back here. John Mustaine, Josh Parker, Sean Bertzman, Eric Arnold sitting in 9th at the moment. He's not safe either. Remember, we're taking 10 cars to the final event here tonight, or to the Sunday night event. If you want to qualify and get in and not have to run through the LCQ, you need to be in that top 10 here. Out front, DeBrown takes the lead. 20 to go. Here comes Tommy Ryan with a huge run. Just behind him, Ryan's going to hang on to that second place spot. We saw that car get a little loose back here. This is Jorgensen also following in the tire tracks of the 25. Joe Hudson just set a fast lap at 44.01. But he is leveraging all the draft up in front of him. Again, back here on the bubble, John Mustaine is sitting in 10th at the moment. Josh Parker, Sean Bertzman, Logan Koger's back there as well. We go back up here. There's a little bit of a battle. Oh, nearly making contact. Who was that? Was that Randy Yoakum and Joe Hudson? I believe it was. Here comes Eric Arnold down to the inside of Yoakum. Yoakum's going to fall back to 7th as they come across the stripe. DeBrown continues to lead up front. That lead pack starting to split off just a little bit. Some drivers running the high line, others running the low. But here comes Tommy Ryan. Ryan gained a ton of time through the corner there, right to the bumper. He goes to the 93 down this long Daytona straightaway. We've seen these cars be a really big handful for some of these drivers, and that's a perfect example right there. That was Tommy Ryan. That car swept way high on Ryan, and he had to try to hang on to it for everything he could. That car got tight, had a little bit more speed than the driver in front of him. But a nice recovery. Go back here around that 10th place spot. It continues to be kind of a minefield. Stoney Benfield now sitting 11th. Sean Bertzman sitting 12th. Josh Parker, Doug Sigmund. Your 13th and 14th place drivers. We look back a little further. Logan Koger sitting there at 15th. Joey Jatina's back out on track. He's a lap down running 16th. Brent Scott's on track as well. He is sitting 17th. We're seeing these drivers take a couple different corner exits while we've got the opportunity, and they're racing hard here with 16 to go. Let's ride on board with the driver of the 31, Eric Arnold. Just watched Rick Kennedy go for a run. He's fallen out of the transfer spots. He has fallen back to 11th. You saw that car get really loose, hit the bumps, and really take him for a ride. Out front, though, we've got a battle for the lead. That's Tommy Rod, Peter Smetana, side by side. With 13 to go here tonight in race number 2 of the Independence 500 qualifiers right here on turn 1. You're seeing a lot of familiar names here tonight that appear in a lot of these SIM500 races each and every week. And I say that because this is not a car they're used to running all the time. We see them running Xfinity, Trucks, Cup, ARCA, but we don't see them running any of the 87 coupes. And while a lot of these drivers have been trying to do some practice laps as we see Tommy Ryan take that top spot away, here comes Jorgensen Jr. They've been trying to get some practice in. They had the opportunity to have an open qualifying session late last week. These drivers did not meet the top 10, so they've got to race their way in. And you're seeing that here now. Back here, this is Joe Hudson, Eric Arnold. 6th and 7th. We go a little further back. And it is Stoney Benfield. Randy Yoakum side by side. That is for 9th and 10th. Or sorry, that is Sean Bertzman. Bretzman, Sean, either way, I apologize about that. Randy Yoakum sitting 10th right now. Stoney Benfield way off the pace, back behind him, about 4 seconds. And then Doug Sigmund. Those drivers are looking for a caution. They want to get caught up with this field. But out front shines bright as the 99 as he comes down the backstretch here at Daytona. On the point, has that car rolling here. He's going to bring them all through 3 and 4. Single file goes the top 7. Ryan comes out of the corner. No pressure out back. He's going to get a push for Jorgensen Jr. 10 laps to go here at Daytona. Stoney Benfield sitting at an 11th place spot has lost some time to Randy Yoakum. It's now 5 seconds or over 5 seconds of a gap. Split that driver. That's going to be a problem. You want to be in this top 10 situation, so you don't got to go race through the LCQ. Lock yourself into Sunday night's Independence 500. Brought to you by, or presented by rather, SIM500. It's going to be an opportunity to take home a paycheck. Sunday night, all the fireworks are going to be done in the sky. SIM500 is going to put a show on the track. Just underneath Tommy Ryan, here comes Mark Jorgensen. Less than 9 laps to go. Jorgensen now challenging for the lead as they roll out of 1 and 2. It's going to be a drag race down this long Daytona straightaway. Ryan's going to lead this lap. 8 to go. Take a look back. Randy Yoakum sitting in 10th. Benfield is continuing to fall back. Now 5.6 seconds between Benfield, Sigmund, Parker, and Koger. They're in a little bit of trouble. They are not in the guaranteed starting spots. You need to be a 10th or better to qualify for the Independence 500 again. You will find that live right here on Turn 1 Broadcasting next Sunday evening. 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. It's going to be a great race. Sim500 always knows how to put on a great show. Look forward to seeing it happen right here on Turn 1. But we got to get tonight done with first. And oh, by the way, we still have an LCQ race to attend right after this. So don't go anywhere. Jorgensen Jr. is going to look down to the inside. Tommy Ryan's in trouble. Here comes Joe Hudson. Joe Hudson's going to make contact with Ryan. Eric Arnold. Those 3 cars are going to bring out the caution. 7 to go. This could have big effects on those transfer spots. Tommy Ryan, Eric Arnold look like they've got significant damage. And Joe Hudson is very slow down on the apron. That's going to bring the caution out. We're going to go back green flag racing with about 3 to go. Mark Jorgensen Jr. leads. And by the way, Stoney Benfield is loving what he's seeing. He's going to move up to 9th. Doug Sigmund is also in a really good spot, sitting at 10th. Josh Parker, Logan Koger, Rick Kennedy, all still on the outside looking in. We're going to step aside for just a moment, and we'll come back for the 3-lap run to the finish. You're watching Turn 1. Welcome back to Daytona for race number 2 of the Independence 500 qualifiers right here on turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for being here. It has been an interesting race so far, and it's about to heat up even more. They're going to go back green flag racing with 3 laps remaining. Mark Jorgensen out front. Randy Yoakum, Peter Smetana, Kevin DeBrown, Robert Finetti, Sean Bretzman, Stoney Benfield, Doug Sigmund, John Mustaine, Joe Hudson in the top 10. But more importantly, Rick Kennedy, Josh Parker, Eric Arnold, Logan Coger, Tommy Bryan, Brent Scott, Joey Jatina, and Doy Woods are outside of the top 10. We're about to see that 10th place bubble spot heat up. Several drivers coming off pit road, trying to get as much of the repairs done as they possibly can and get caught up with this field. Here comes Hudson. Rick Kennedy right there as well. Josh Parker on the move. They're all trying to get caught up with the field, and they're going to do it. Again, this is race number 2 of the Independence 500, brought to you by SIM500. That race, Sunday night. The top 10 drivers transfer into that race. It's going to be an exciting one. Don't go anywhere, by the way. We have one more chance, a last chance qualifier. Coming to you live from Daytona right here on turn 1, right after this event. To see who the final 10 drivers will be that has a chance to bring home a paycheck and the checkered flag from the Independence 500. The pace car is going to go off pit road. Jorgensen, Yoakum, get it rolling. Yoakum has trouble, get going. That's going to bottle up the outside row. Green flag is out, 3 laps to go. Jorgensen's out to a strong run, 8-car length lead. Here comes Kevin DeBrown on the inside of that rainbow car. Yoakum is going to fall back here. DeBrown is going to be able to put his foot down. And all of a sudden is caught up with our leader. Here comes DeBrown on the inside. He's got some help. Kevin DeBrown takes the lead here at Daytona with 3 to go. Taking a look back here for that 10th spot. Just behind it, Rick Kennedy is all over John Mustaine. Logan Coger slow. So is Joe Hudson. We'll pay close attention to that. Meanwhile, DeBrown out front. We heard what Mike Matesi had to say about this race and what he learned. And one of the things he learned is you don't want to be up front at the very end of this. And here comes the 46 and the 2 all of a sudden up into the top 4. Maybe you're getting armed up for a run. Up front, though, Kevin DeBrown. And that 93 car is going to see the white flag one more time around here in race 2. Take a look back a little further here. That's Rick Kennedy, but Logan Coger's now up in the mix. Randy Yoakum is out of the spot. Randy Yoakum sitting 12th. It is a mess back there for that round, that 10th place. Rick Kennedy tried to hang on, but he's going to have pressure. That's Josh Parker moving up into the spot now. But up front, DeBrown is moving down to the bottom. He's going to try to block the 25. It's going to be a drag race. Side by side they go. And Peter Smetana wins here, race number 2. Kevin DeBrown's going to finish second. Robert Finetti, Sean Bretzman, Mark Jorgensen, Stoney Benfield, Doug Sigmund, John Mustaine, Rick Kennedy, Logan Coger, your top 10. Drivers that did not qualify. Randy Yoakum, Josh Parker, Joe Hudson, and Eric Arnold, and Tommy Bryan, Brent Scott, Joey Jatina, and Doy Woods. We're going to step aside. We'll get ready for that LCQ event, and we'll talk to the driver of the number 25. You're watching Turn 1. It all comes down to this. Only 10 drivers will transfer from this field to the main event. Everybody else is going to watch from the couch. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Welcome to Turn 1. I'm excited to bring you this final last chance qualifying race right here for the Independence 500 presented by SIM500 on Turn 1. Hello. Thank you again for being here. Kevin England, Joe Hudson, Doy Woods, Randy Yoakum, Dalton Gibson, Ron Holyfield, Mark Rodigan, Josh Parker, Eric Arnold, Zach Roethlisberger, Glenn Campbell, all racing for a 10th or better spot. And they're getting ready to go green flag. They're going to only have, I believe, 26 laps to go here. Pace cars down pit road. And we're green flag for the LCQ on Turn 1. England did not get rolling well. He's going to fall back to 5th. I believe that's Doy Woods on the point. He certainly is. That's Joe Hudson behind him. And the 40, I'm sorry, that's Joe Hudson in the 10 trying to make it happen. He needs to be in the top 10 here. But Woods is going to lead from the top. Several drivers back here towards the rear that are really fast. Jatina, Benfield, all back here towards the rear, looking for an opportunity to race their way into Sunday night's main event. Only 10 drivers are going to go. Hudson continues, Doy Woods continues to lead Hudson, P2. We'll wait for our scoring to update as they come back by. Single file, the top 4 goes. Kevin England looks like he's alongside Eric Arnold. He got caught up in an incident, now really up high on the racetrack. He's going to lose some spots. Woods continues to lead there on the bottom. And there you have it, comes across the stripe. And we're 24 to go here at Daytona. Out of nowhere comes Tommy Ryan. Ryan takes the high line. And the driver of the 99 up front. Take a look back here on that 10th place spot. Britt Scott, Josh Parker, Brian Workman, Randy Yoakum, Parker, Workman, Yoakum all looking on the outside. Joey Jatina also on the outside. Ron Holyfield, Dalton Gibson. All trying to race their way in. This is the final opportunity. After this, all 40 drivers are locked in. We took 30. We will take 30 tonight. After the first 10 qualified on speed late last week. Up front, Hudson. Doy Woods battling it out side by side as they roll through 4. Back behind him, Zach Roethlisberger, Mark Rodigan, Eric Arnold, Glenn Campbell, Alan Wild, Kevin England, Brent Scott, your top 10. Josh Parker, the 13 car, sitting in 11th. Randy Yoakum, Joey Jatina, Brian Workman. And others back there on the outside looking in. After this is over, it's all said and done. There's no more hanging back. No more opportunities to, it goes really sideways. That was Wood. And the 76 nearly making contact. Doy was able to move down to the bottom, give it some space. Here comes Zach Roethlisberger on the inside. That 76 really loosed out on the apron. He's gonna move up, he's gonna collect Doy Woods. Doy is sideways. That's also gonna collect the 44 of Glenn Campbell. We've got another car also spinning. Is that, oh goodness, who was that? Somebody else was sideways there. The 76 tried to hang on to it, but unfortunately got into Doy Woods, is going to bring out the caution. For the first time here in the last chance qualifying race for the Independence 500 right here on turn 1. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in. This is your, I'm going to remind you once again, if you're interested in watching the Independence 500 from flag to flag, you're in the right place right here on turn 1. If you're on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, do what you need to do to get connected. Like, subscribe, follow us to ensure you're not going to miss the notifications as we go live for one of the biggest summer events on iRacing right here, the Independence 500, presented by SIM500, next Sunday night, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, on Turn 1 Broadcasting. Under caution here for the first time in the LCQ. Tommy Ryan leads. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching Turn 1. Back live here at Daytona, rather. Zach Roethlisberger, Tommy Ryan, Eric Arnold, Alan Wild, Kevin England, your top 5. Joe Hudson, Brent Scott is running 7th currently. Brian Wortman 8th. Josh Parker's moved up to the 9th spot. Dalton Gibson is currently sitting 10th. Ron Holyfield, Randy Yoakum, Doy Woods, Glenn Campbell, Mark Rodigan, all out on track. Joey Jatina is actually wrapping up pit service as we speak. It's going to be a good one. We're going to go back green flag racing here with 17 laps remaining here. 17 laps to decide the final 10 drivers. The Independence 500. Back behind the pace car they go. Let's take a look. It looks like maybe Jatina may have had a little bit of damage. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Either way, he's going to get caught up to the field. So is Glenn Campbell and the 76 as well. They're back there. They're going to have to race their way forward to make up 7 spots. It's going to be interesting to see who can bring it home here at the very end. Pace car lights are off. The 1987 NASCAR Coupes. Getting ready to go back green flag racing. They roll down this tri-oval. There it is, and the green flag is out. We're back racing at Daytona. Ryan Roethlisberger, Arnold, and Wild in that top 4. England's going to take a look on the inside as well. But Tommy Ryan's going to take the top spot after the restart. Top 4 gets single filed out as we look back towards the rear of the field. Randy Yoakum is battling Brian Werman for that 10th place spot as they roll through the corner. Josh Parker, he restarted back, I believe, 8th, and he's already driven himself into the top 3. Parker's on the move. Looking to the inside of Roethlisberger's Parker. The run he had is going to stall out right there. Ryan continues to lead here as they come out of 2. Down the front stretch. He's going to move down to the inside. Offering a little bit of draft to Parker. Help him get that run. Ryan moves out to the high line to block Roethlisberger's run. The 7 moves down to the bottom. Ryan's going to do the same. Out to a 4-car length lead as they roll through the tri-oval. 15 to go. We got a car slow down on the apron. I believe that was Kevin England. He's going to merge back in the 12th place spot. That's a little scary. I think England may have had a bit of a heart attack there, but more importantly, he is out of the top 10 as of this moment. Joey Jatina now is knocking on the door. That's Doy Woods in front of him. Dalton Gibson currently sitting in the bubble. Back up front, Ryan continues to lead. Josh Parker, Zach Roethlisberger. Side by side, 14 to go. Outside of that battle up there for second, that's pretty much the entire fight in the top 5, or top 8 or so. Then you look back here, this is Brent Scott side by side, Doy Woods. Dalton Gibson sitting on the outside of Joey Jatina, who is sitting 11th. We talked about this, I believe, during race 1. Oh, was that Kevin England up in the wall again? We talked about this during race 1. Where does it matter? Where do you want to be? You want to be up front to try to avoid all the drama, or are you going to ride around in the rear? And again, try to avoid the drama, but you've got to keep up with this pack. You got to maintain the draft, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. You lose that draft, you're going to lose the opportunity to make those runs. But on the other side of that coin, the cautions can help you. Now for the lead, side by side, here comes Roethlisberger on the outside. He's going to take the lead away from Tommy Ryan. Here comes the 13 of Josh Parker. He's going to look to the inside. Ryan's going to move down. That is going to leave Roethlisberger out there by himself in the 11. He's going to squeeze by the 99. He's going to lead that lap. But he's going to continue to challenge on that outside line as they come off the quarter out of 2. Back here in 10th again, Brent Scott, Joey Jatina now sitting in 11th. Brian Wortman, Kevin England, right there towards right there on the bubble, and in striking distance. Ron Holyfield also there. Kevin England has fallen all the way back to 14th. But back up front, Ryan continues to lead Parker. Here comes Joe Hudson, making his move to the front up into the top 3. As we talked about too, you don't necessarily need to win this race tonight. This is just secure yourself in a top 10 spot, transfer off into Sunday, and that is where the big check is. That's where the big checkered flag, the one that matters most, is going to be rewarded to one of these drivers. As we saw Doy Woods really out wide down the backstretch, here comes Yoakum on the tail. Sorry, that was not Yoakum. That was Gibson. Brent Scott right there as well. He's going to move right down. Wow, what a slice. That was Dalton Gibson behind Brent Scott. That looked, I mean, it didn't look sketchy, but knowing how these cars have handled so far tonight, that looked a little unnerving. But again, tonight, you do not need to bring home the checkered flag. You just need to race. You need to be in one of those top 10 spots. So if you're a driver as Doy Woods, Brent Scott, Randy Yoakum, Alan Wild even, do you just ride around, maintain your track position, and bring home, get it in? Or are you going to be a driver like Tommy Ryan out front on the point here? Shows like he's got a lot of speed, and I suspect we could see that 99 riding machine up front on Sunday. A great opportunity to get some practice in and what it'll feel like behind or in front of 39 other competitors on the racetrack in these 87 coupes in the Independence 500. Everybody from everybody 12th or all the way through 12th or so single filed out. As I say that, it looks like Dalton Gibson is going to look under Joey Jatina. Joey riding high here. Whoa, he's going to move down. He's going to collect Dalton Gibson. Gibson's going to make hard contact on the inside wall. He's going to lock it down there on the infield. No caution. We saw when running on board how difficult these cars are to keep a hold of. That is prime example right there. Those drivers were just coming out of the corner, just trying to hold on. And unfortunately, Dalton Gibson, short of a miracle here, is not going to qualify for the Independence 500. Ryan continues to lead. Coming to the stripe, 7 to go. Oh, and the caution's out. Gibson is spun again. Down on the apron, a lot of damage on that car, and that's going to bring the caution out. Oh boy, we're going to have another restart just like we did in race number 2. Going to have about 3 laps to go. Tommy Ryan, Josh Parker, Joe Hudson, Eric Arnold, Zach Roethlisberger, your top 5. Then it's Alan Wild, Doy Woods, Brent Scott, Randy Yoakum, and Ron Holyfield. Your top 10. Kevin England is the first driver on the outside looking in. Brian Wortman's 12th. Glenn Campbell and Mark Rodigan all sitting in the top 14. And then Joey Jatina, who made contact there with Dalton Gibson, is sitting in 15th. But none of that really matters where you are right now, because guess what? We're going to go back green flag racing with about 3 to go, and it's going to be a wild one. Wild one. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Turn 1. Joe Hudson is going to take the point. First driver off pit road, had a great pit stop, maybe a 2-tire call. Out of the 10, we're going to find out. Tommy Pride. I'll start outside row 1. Josh Parker, Zach Roethlisberger, Eric Arnold. Going to round out the top 5. We're going to go back green flag racing here with 4 to go. And if you've been watching any type of super speedway racing essentially ever, you know this is anybody's race. The pace car is going to duck down pit road one more time. Joe Hudson's going to lead him. We're going to find out the final 10 going to the Independence 500 right now. We're green at Daytona. Hudson blinked out hard there. He came back on the inside there of Ryan. And it's a side-by-side race through 2. Parker, right to the bumper of the 99. Here comes Roethlisberger and Arnold. It's going to be a big race. Keep in mind, you don't need to bring home the checkered flag. You just need to be in 10th. But they're fighting like that checkered flag is the last one possible. Ryan is able to hold off the advance of the 13 and the 7. To the start-finish line they go. 3 laps remaining. Taking a look back here at the transfer spot. Brian Wortman sitting in 10th. He is in right now. Ron Holyfield, Kevin England, Glenn Campbell. Those drivers are on the outside. Well, this top 5 group is looking awful racy. Here comes the inside. I believe that's Arnold. He dove down there like he was going to have an impressive run. Didn't go anywhere. The 99 leads him out of 4. Ryan bringing it to the start-finish line. 2 to go. We heard Montesi mention how critical it was to not be in those top 2 spots. Does anybody have anything for Ryan or Parker here with 2 to go? Looking back on that transfer spot, Wortman is sitting comfortably. Ron Holyfield out back behind him, 0.2 of a second, but it's not going to take long to close that gap. The 99 continues to lead. Parker on the bottom. Just behind him is Roethlisberger and Arnold. And the white flag is out. Tommy Ryan leads. Who's going to make the Independence 500? Josh Parker to the inside. He's going to have help from Arnold. Roethlisberger on the outside. Brian scooping the car way high. He's going to have a run down the backstretch. Back there in that 10th place spot, here comes Kevin England. Ron Holyfield as well. Kevin's going to get by Ron. He's going to look to the outside of Wortman. Back up front, Zach Roethlisberger on the inside of the 99. He's going to have a huge push. They're going to get collected. Josh Parker's going to slide to the win. And back there for 10th, it looks like Brian Wortman is going to be the last driver to qualify for the Independence 500. What a wild end to that race, and the Josh Parker in the 13 car is going to bring home the checkered flag. We're going to step aside for one moment here and get our thoughts collected as we get ready to do a little bit of post-race coverage. You're watching Turn 1. Another wild race here for the last chance qualifier for the SIM500. Independence 500 next Sunday night on turn 1. Josh Parker, Zach Roethlisberger are going to make it in. So will Joe Hudson, Tommy Ryan, Doy Woods, Brent Scott. Eric Arnold's going to finish 7th. That's going to get him a spot. Randy Yoakum, Alan Wild, Brian Wortman, the last driver to secure into the field of 40 for the Independence 500. Drivers not making it: Ron Holyfield, Mark Rodigan, Glenn Campbell, Kevin England, Joey Jatina, and Dalton Gibson. Unfortunately, are not going to make it in to the event next Sunday night right here on turn 1. We're trying to see if we can get a hold of Josh Parker really quick, but if not, that's okay. We'll give it another moment. Again, if you haven't already done so, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, do what you need to do to get connected to turn 1. We'd love to see you back here next Sunday night. Tomorrow night, Downforce Racing Series comes back to turn 1 for some more Cup Series action. That kicks off at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on turn 1, broadcasting with yours truly. I can't wait to see you there. I tell you what, let's kind of summarize these last 3 races. We squeezed in over, oh goodness, what are we going to call that? 86 total laps in less than 1 hour and 55 minutes at Daytona. That's impressive. And that just shows you the class you get out of the SIM500 group. The Independence 500, I swear, will be one of the best races of the summer from a league standpoint that you'll find. And you'll find it right here on Turn 1 Broadcasting. We'll give Josh Parker just another moment here to get up to the interview room. And while we do that, let's talk about the Independence 500 again, kicking off 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central next Sunday night, 200 laps around Daytona. And you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a full 500 miles around this high-banked, under-the-sun Daytona Superspeedway, set in the 2008 configuration. You saw what that means for these drivers of these 87 coupes. It is bumpy. It is rough. It is not easy to handle. And these drivers are going to have a handful for all 200 laps around this famed Daytona Superspeedway. Again, one final reminder, you'll find that Sunday night, 6:30, 5:30 Central, right here on Turn 1. Looks like we're not going to get Josh Parker. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and wrap up coverage. As I mentioned, we'll return tomorrow night right here on Turn 1 for the Downforce Racing Series. Cup Series action rolls on through the summer season. On behalf of the league admins, I'm Sean Fitz. I appreciate you being here. We'll see you tomorrow night. If not, we'll see you Sunday for that main event, the Independence 500. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.